Notre vie discrète. D'un franc, 18,50.
C'est la télévision chez nous.
Les petits bistrots qui chantent sont là pour régaler ceux qui ont la dalle en pente, comme les touristes étrangers qui rentrant de leurs vacances partout pourront raconter qu'ils ont bientôt vu en France, puisqu'ils seront visités. Marché au bus, un quartier de Paris qu'on appelle Saint-Ouen. Ça rit, ça chante, ça se bouscule et ça crie, c'est un drôle de coin. Royaume des trouvailles, dans le foule anticaille, c'est un peu comme les souks d'Algérie, le marché au bus de Paris.
Who's going to be at this party?
Roman and Jean, Roman Gary and G. Seberg, Sidney and Noel Chaplin, Clem and Jesse Wood, and the Hunts are coming. And some French directors, but I don't remember who she said Russian did. Truffaut maybe, and some of the movie set.
Jones has lived with lionizing and success for some years. He has also lived with his many critics. They have attacked his style, his obsession with sex, his brashness, and his sentimentality. A magazine editorial has accused him of being a Philistine marauder who offers us the Yahoo as a social arbiter.
I must say that, you know, Upton Sinclair, did you ever read him? He made one of the most ironic statements that was ever made by a writer. He said, the writer who writes for posterity has lost his target. And it was him, but he didn't know it. And that's exactly what he did. That Lanny Budd series about, you know, blah, blah, blah. But of all people to say it,
It's the equivalent of the Vittorio Emanuele.
I don't know if he did. I don't know if he did. He ought to. If he didn't, he ought to.
I mean, writing is part of your natural functions, no? Your natural economy.
No, it's unnatural.
It's the unnatural part of your nature.
It's the unnatural part of your natural function.
Yes.
I have to might buy that. I don't know what it is. It's sick. Writing is sick, man. It's sick. All of my grandfather's sons, all four of them, became creeps. He went too far, and he was puritanical with it, I think. So they revolted against him into...
Whatever you do.
They didn't have
Not again on that
tanks. He didn't have LSD then, so they became drunks, you know. And all of them. One died young, so, but the other three, they had a lot. They had a lot. You know. And he had a lot. He was bright, but he destroyed his sons. He really did, because of trying to teach them something, a code of living, which he believed in. But then I had to start from scratch all by myself. I had no help. Nobody helped me. My grandfather was dead. My father finally dead while I was overseas in the army and all that. And oh, it's all bullshit. But I had to start from scratch. I wanted to be a gentleman. I still would like to be.
But you don't have to want to be. You either
That don't
are
mean
or
I have to
you
not.
No, I'm telling you. That has anything to do with it. It's just what you are yourself.
Newsweek's better. It's less lying than Time.
What do you mean by lies in this?
I mean by lies is you believe in a certain attitude toward life, and you impose your attitude on all the material.
That, I assure you, I've worked there for 16 years, and we have...
But I've read it for 20 years, and they do.
You tell them, Jimmy.
You tell him.
I don't know.
He knows what he's
I'm against most everything, if you could name, hardly. I'm against believers, that's what I'm
That's it. Tell him that's it. That's a
And your magazine believes in a certain attitude toward America. Anytime you believe in a nation, it's lying and cheating. because there's a lot of other people in other nations. And you must realize that these people want to live and survive.
Killing other people.
Never mind, hush.
Well, should you kill people?
Sure. The only way to get through past a person is to stand in the street and see your wife and children killed in front of you and say, it's all right, God, they don't know what they did.
He's not going to do that.
I'm not that big. I'm not that big a man, you know. Otherwise, I'd go out and break their fucking, I'd kill 2 or 3, you know. All right, fine, they'd knock me off, but I couldn't stand it, you know. Because I'm selfish. My wife and my family are more valuable to me than any kind of philosophy or anything else.
Tell him. Tell him, Jim. Go ahead.
I'm anti-Red China. I'm anti-Russian.
So is he.
I'm not. All right, but don't say you're not oriented.
I'm not a professional anti-communist, never have been.
Did you read Lippmann on the American elections? What he did point out was that a whole new world revolution has happened since World War II. And we're not taking advantage of it, nobody else is. Work for a lying magazine.
How would you take advantage of it?
I'd quit the war in Vietnam somehow or another and make the Chinese responsible.
Tell me how.
I have to think on that.
You've been thinking about it for 2 years, for Christ's sake, so it's about time you came up with an answer. You've been debating it for 2 years, so you should have a couple of answers. How do you quit now, given the level of the American commitment and given the impact this commitment has made all over Asia? That's the problem, not the mechanics of pulling your troops out of Vietnam. Jimmy, you could go all over Asia tomorrow on a commission for any magazine or just for yourself.
I know I could do that.
And you will not get anyone in off-the-record conversation in a position of influence, whether he's in Japan or in India, or in Thailand or in Singapore and Indonesia, who will go along with what you're advocating.
Do I have to change my idea because of that?
Why didn't you say that about Europe, Jimmy, over the past 20 years? He says give away Asia. Because, well, why didn't he say give away Europe then?
He didn't say
Because they're not.
But why not?
Flat-eyed bastards.
No, he's saying give away Asia.
Listen, I'll tell you the God's truth. Every time in Europe that we've had to stop a takeover by the communists, we have put in a fascist. Every time the United States will back a fascist. What do you call it?
He speaks his private opinions with vehemence and writes them with passion. He has struggled to be heard, but unlike most, he's been rewarded. Time will judge his stature as a writer.